Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to tell you about this book right here. This book has become my Bible. This is last year's bullet journal. I've been bullet journaling for years and years and years. In 2020, I did my very first aesthetic looking bullet journal with pretty spreads. I'll show you some of those. I have that book here as well. Show you a couple of pretty spreads and then what that has developed into over the course of 3 years. This book is incredibly special, incredibly awesome. I'm going to tell you about it now and tell you about my favorite practice that I think I'll be doing for the rest of my life, Mory months. Let's get started. So before we talk about this book, I want to tell you a little bit about my history with bullet journaling and my first aesthetic bullet journal. So I have been bullet journaling for a number of years, probably 2 or 3 years before I started this one. Just the traditional Ryder Carroll method, just a pen and a dot grid notebook. And in the end of 2019, I found out about aesthetic bullet journaling on YouTube. So I created my first aesthetic bullet journal, and this was for 2020. There's my future log. It's all Wonder Woman themed because I'm a big Wonder Woman fan. I have this, I wanted to save this from Wonder Woman in here. There was some goals, and as you know, 2020 is the year the pandemic hit, so all hell kind of broke loose at the middle of the year. So what happened was I loved this process of creating beautiful spreads. The January one was really pretty. I was on a cruise, so I did a spread for the cruise, and then here's my January. You can see I'm actively using it. I never use this gratitude page that I created, but look at this just beautiful spread. It's so much fun. After it's done, there's not much value or benefit to this book. In fact, it's full of personal information. It's got some things that I want to remember in them, some cool ideas, but it's not ever something that I would hand to someone and tell them, here, flip through this and see a beautiful representation of my art. So that was my first aesthetic bullet journal. Now let's fast forward to last year, 2023, when I set as a goal to make art a daily practice. And this is what emerged from it. This is my bullet journal, although it's not going to look like a bullet journal to anyone that practices. Opening it up, we see my cover page. I usually put the same general thing on the front page of my journals. This is a self-portrait, so it's very, very hard paper on this upper cover, so I didn't need to prep the page at all. I just went in with acrylic paint on this page. My favorite part of the self-portrait is this hand right here that's feeding the dogs a bone, and it also features my very cool yoga chair that allows me to sit cross-legged at my computer desk. So love that. And then throughout the course of the year, as I encounter things that I like, I might stick it into this book. So here's a postcard from when I was in the Virgin Islands, and here is a wedding invitation that I got for my niece's wedding, so I put that in here as well. This is a painting that I did because I like to do full painting spreads within the journal. So this was one of those early pages that had lines on it and not dots. So I just planned on painting over it. So here we go. So what I did with these months, I've since moved it in 2024, I moved it to the back of my journal. I would just have the month at the top and then the days written down. So this would be my future planner. So it's one page for each month. So here was March, here was April, and I put all of my appointments and things for that future planner here on those pages. Throughout the course of the month, I would also gather stickers from various sources or little snips of paper. So I would eventually cover the month and all of the things that were written on that month with scrapbooking from that month. So these are all things that I encountered in January and in February. Times I would go into my rather extensive sticker collection to add stickers. Like I have so many Wonder Woman stickers, it's not even funny. Or I would get stickers from places where I'm getting items, like here's Real Dog Box, and they send me raw treats for my dogs, and Element Electrolyte Company that I use. This is a swirly mug from How I Met Your Mother, a recipe from my Element electrolytes, just all sorts of interesting things that wind up on these pages. So August, I found this drawing that I had done years and years ago, and it was just sort of random, so I put that in there. That's Jaina, my dog. So just all sorts of interesting things in sticker format here during my 12 months. So my future pages becomes a sticker diary of those months. And here we have my very first Mory month. I do the monthly spread and I divide it up into boxes. And it was here on January 1st that I was working on my art goals. And I was thinking about what I wanted to do and decided that daily practice was something I really wanted to do. So I started doing individual pieces of art in small square boxes in a month format so that I knew that I was doing some type of artwork every day. That was the original idea, and oh my goodness, has it blossomed from there. As I look back on this, I can see things that I did. Like this day, I know I bought one of these tripods and little microphones for an iPhone. On this day, I spent the day on coaching calls on Zoom. So that's me on a coaching call. This day right here, I can tell I was doing an urban sketch and I had such a hard time with my niece's knee. That's her knee right there. I remember distinctly having that struggle. And this is back more than a year ago at this point. I can tell you that I played a game with my husband on this day because that's the first player character from the alpaca game. We were binge watching that 70s show. We're big fans of it. This is the first day I did an urban sketching using windowswap.com. Just kind of crazy memories. Here I am getting ready to leave on the marketer's cruise. This is the first day, and this is actually just paper from some handout that they gave us. I just sort of cut it out and put that little cruise symbol in there. So it doesn't even need to necessarily always be artwork. Sometimes I wing it and plop a sticker in there. These are specific memories from those arts. And you can see I'm still using bullet journaling methods here. I've got the month listed out here. These are all the days of the week. In the beginning, I was also writing in pencil things on those days if I wanted them. I stopped doing that eventually. When I started, I would have stuff written in pencil, which I would then erase and replace with the artwork of the day. And then here you can see, if you take a look, you can see there are lots of notes. And these are my work notes. These are notes from meetings and notes from, just to-do list. And once I'm done with them, you can almost see there's like a diagonal slash through this page because ultimately I want my notes to be in electronic format. Not all of my projects end within a year. Some of them last for years and years, and I want those notes in a place where they're easily accessible to me all the time. So eventually my notes get gone through and put into an electronic format, but I still love having a book in my hands. So I wanted to have a system where I could take those notes and make them beautiful. So I started doodling over them. This is a note that my husband left me, so I just stuck it in here. There's some work notes underneath it, but I put that little love note from him right there in my book. Here you can see some notes underneath that I've doodled over with plants, and then other drawings and doodles right over my workspace. So what I've created here is kind of this living document of my life where not only do I have my monthly memories, oh, this is a great Van Gogh, but it's a sticker, don't get excited. This is the day that I was working on this. Here. Van Gogh's room drawing and studying Van Gogh's room. So I put a sticker of Van Gogh on that day. Some doodles. I thought it would be a great idea to do a card, and then I realized you have to do the same thing backwards and upside down, and I gave up halfway through. Some work on eyeballs, and here's February. So February, I'm still using some pre-made bullet journaling stuff to set up the page. Did a basic outline of the page. This is looks like a 6x6 grid. So 6x6 grid, and here's the month of February. Now, what we see here are a couple of things. There are some question marks here. These are days that I skipped. So, and when I went back, I couldn't remember anything about those days. to be able to put in artwork for that day. So I missed a couple of days, maybe because I was doing something else. February, actually, all of 2023 was a tough year for me, and you'll see that as we go through. Oh, look, here I was painting. So I did a painting of Van Gogh's room too. So I started studying him on that day back in January, and then at the end of February, I was also doing some work on his stuff over 2 days. What's fascinating about this is I can look through and remember some very, very specific memories. And that's what I love about this practice, is it becomes a little mini diary. And you know how they say a picture is worth 1,000 words? I find that to be absolutely true about this case. So let's look at the first one. That image on the first is a ribeye steak, wondering where its bone is. And I was on the Carnival cruise and was at the steakhouse, and my best friend Michelle is next to me, and we love gnawing on bones, and we both ordered the cowboy bone-in ribeye steak, and neither of us got a bone. It was so disappointing. So that was my meat looking for its bone. I remember that disappointment. I might have forgotten it had it not become part of my calendar. So I can remember, good things and less good things on a particular day. There's March, and March's calendar has similar beautiful things to look at. In March, I decided that if I was going to skip a day, I at least needed to make it beautiful. So I have a really pretty question mark. I think this might be my last question mark in the book. There are just fascinating things here. Wednesday the 1st, you can see I have a little ouchie there on my foot. I was suffering from plantar fasciitis, and I didn't know it at the time. I just knew that my foot hurt, and it hurt right there. Later, I was looking at YouTube videos, and there was a thumbnail that looked just like this, and it had a mark in exactly where that red spot was on my image. And that's how I learned that I had plantar fasciitis. I didn't know what it was. I just knew that my foot hurt. I couldn't figure out why. Here's a shrimp. When else am I going to get the chance to draw a shrimp or some crab legs? So that's another thing I really like about this process. Sometimes it gives me an excuse to figure out how to draw crab legs or a shrimp. Maybe I'm never going to do a giant painting with some cooked shrimp in it, but I've now had to look at and study and emulate a shrimp on the page. So there's some just nice things here. This is the day that I painted this love spread in the front. So it sat there for a while, just waiting for me. See, March 12th. And then I go here, and it was March 12th that I painted that. On the 19th, I played chess with my business partner, Mike. This one is wonderful. We were at Korean barbecue, and there was this moment that I had with my best friend, and our business partners were there. And this image perfectly captures that moment. I will always remember that moment, truly moment. And it was right about here when I decided that the name of this practice was going to be Morii months. Morii is Morii is the desire to capture a fleeting moment. Morii comes from the Book of Obscure Sorrows, which is, unfortunately, forget the guy's name. I will have it right here on the screen. What he did was he wrote a dictionary of words for the complex emotions and feelings that we're having. And I will link his video on Morii here because it is so beautiful. What Morii urge in us that has us whip out our phone and take a video of something that is novel or extraordinary or beautiful to help us remember it.
And still find yourself standing behind a camera, waiting for the world to hold still.
It was about this time that I realized that that is what this process was doing for me. It was allowing me to find something beautiful or interesting or original in every single day and capturing it. I remember breaking my retainer on this day and having to eat soft food the next day, so I have macaroni and cheese here. And here's some just more doodles. This is a Stay Salty sticker from my Elements and some doodles over notes. And I keep up that process. So here's April, and April's the first time, well, I guess March was the first time. March, I decided that I was going to do my own spread instead of using the pre-done stickers. And I chose Army Men because March 4th is the only day of the year that's a command. So March 4th is my Army Men, and I just had fun making little green men all over the page. April, this is acrylic paint. I wanted it to look like a Zen garden. April, I decided that I needed yin in my life. I needed more rest, something a little easier and softer. And I made that the theme for my month. And it turns out I really needed to because I injured my hand. On this day, I tried painting with my opposite hand because I was still determined to paint and finish something called Acrylic April. And then I'm in bed, and I was in bed for 4 days, and I needed deep rest. I couldn't move. My foot, here you can see my foot was on ice. That's my foot at the end of the bed. My foot was on ice. I spent 4 days trying to sleep and putting my foot on ice and just letting my body rest because I deeply, deeply needed it. I ate a mango on the 18th. Cute little illustration of me at the top of an escalator with my luggage, seeing my sister at the bottom of the escalator as we met in Florida to go on vacation together. I remember the joy that I felt just seeing my sister there. Sometimes it's deep thoughts. In this case, I wrote, I think sometimes we choose to feel sad because feeling sad feels better than feeling nothing. So I'm still having a rough time. My friend Simone looked up the meaning in Louise Hay's book. Louise Hay wrote a book about your physical body and what emotionally may be coming of it. And I was still having an issue with my heel and my foot on my left hand, on my left foot. So I drew this and added some of the affirmations that they suggested. I easily flow with change is still one that I use pretty much every single day. I'm always going in the right direction. I move forward in life with joy and ease. I trust my instincts. These are things that I say over and over again. Sometimes it's not all that great, just some random thing reminding me to stay grounded. Here's a little doodle of my sister who does not have orange hair. And then so I bought some Earth Runner sandals, some more dog boxes and Daniel Smith art materials. I got a swatch card from Daniel Smith because I wanted to pick watercolor paints. It's hard to believe that I got those back in April or May of last year. I just recently swatched it out, and here's my watercolor palette that I made from getting all of the Daniel Smith swatch cards swatched. Here's the beautiful month of May. In May, for this whole week, I was painting in Art Battle on Friday. So I started on Sunday. I found out this Friday that I was going to be painting in Art Battle. I started on Sunday with test paintings. I did test painting. This is the day that I realized that I love art so much as I was working through this process of getting a painting done in 20 minutes. And these are additional iterations of my test painting for my final painting at Art Battle. So that was just, that whole week I remember being so immersed in my art and feeling so great about it. Right here, it's Groove, which is my company name with an E, Groove, but it's just Groove, and my company color is pink. It's just Groove because one of my assistants and we were reviewing copy that had been written for one of our promotions, and every single time the word groove was spelled incorrectly without the final E, and we were just giggling so hard at it by the end of the time we were reviewing copy. It's just such a wonderful way to memorialize that feeling of enjoying working together and just getting the giggles. Here I am working out and planning out my June month because in June I wanted to do this beehive. So I did this hexagonal spread with beehives. And again, you can see I'm having a rough time in June. Here's me with Lulu, who is my inner child. Lulu she's crying over spilt milk because I was having a rough time. And here's me taking some fuck it all pills because I was having a rough time. And here's me in the BetterHelp logo, because that's the day I decided I needed to reach out and get someone to help. And I'm so glad that I did. I can remember just such amazing things. This is a story that my therapist told me that I will remember forever because she used it as an example. This is some beautiful mushroom soup that my best friend made for me. This day I took a nap with my dog. Every single one of these is so important, such a strong memory, even if it's not a great one. Like this day on the 30th, when I had cramps so badly that my uterus was crying. I can't help but smile now when I see that. Oh, and also, that's my dog's birthday. They turned 5. And because this is a book that I'm writing and sticking random things in here and random quotes, when a bee lands on you, you've been mistaken for a flower. I can also be free to test and do this. So in this case, I was testing whether I wanted to use watercolor ground or clear gesso over pages. To prep these pages, because this is a dot grid notebook and I'm using wet medium on it. Most of this is gouache, by the way, almost all gouache. Sometimes there's some watercolor, sometimes ink pen as well. Sometimes I might use marker, but mostly it's gouache. And I wanted to see whether I preferred watercolor ground or clear gesso. And no question at all, I prefer gesso for color. The watercolor ground doesn't have texture on it, so it's better for pens. But when you're painting, the clear gesso is just wonderful. I really like it, and I like that you can still see the dots underneath them. This day, I was just inspired by the lyrics to Bridge Over Troubled Water, so I just wrote them. I wrote all the lyrics and then eventually drew a helping hand over it. And here are some random portraits from, I think I was just scrolling through Instagram, finding pictures of people and then drawing them. I belong to a mastermind called Flight Club, and these are my notes from my 2-day Flight Club mastermind event. And some more doodles and drawings. And here I wrote, reset and simplify. That was from my friend Sharon. And then, if you can't solve a problem, stop trying. Meaning, stop struggling, fighting, fretting, and worrying. Time may resolve your problem. So I thought that was interesting. If you can't solve a problem, stop trying. It's kind of contrarian evidence. Some more doodles. I remember now, this is an Instagram account where he just goes to like open events like fairs and things and starts taking people's pictures. So there are so many portraits on his Instagram account. I'll link that also. This is the day I learned about the art of kintsugi, which is the Japanese art of repairing china by filling cracks with precious metals. And I decided to draw my day one day, so these are all the things that happened on that particular day. Walking the dogs, doing laps, filling the pool with water, having some coffee, and apparently a dog bone. Oh, this is fun. I never finished it. I should go back and do this. Or not. This is a model of my office. So here I am lying on the floor of my office. This is where I spend most of my day, in this chair. And this right here is this book opened to the June bee spread. Here's my bathroom. This is the door to the hallway. This is the door outside. My dog looking out. My other dog is here asleep on the couch. And then so many things. There's Groovezilla, my company mascot. So many things represented here that just make my heart sing. These are bunny ears from Louise, Bob's Burgers, who is my spirit animal. A photo of me and my sister that I absolutely love. Just like beautiful, beautiful things that are memories as well as just a snapshot of what my life was like. At most moments, at least once a day, I'm laying on my floor like that. Here's a 1000 is one of the YouTubers I follow, and I ordered something from him and got this postcard as well, so I dropped it in here. This was an art therapy session that I was in. And here's July. It's my birthday month, so I decided to make the theme look like one big slice of cake. So it's the inside frosting, the outside with sprinkles, and my 52 candles. And And then just beautiful memories. I've got all sorts of things in here. This is my Foxy necklace that I found recently, so I was happy to have that back in my life. Some quotes. I'm a huge Wonder Woman fan, so. Under here are my birthday wishes. I wanted to write down my birthday wishes, but I don't want anyone to read them, including myself, so I sealed them up. And this is just a list of things that I want less of and things that I want more of in my life. Here's the beautiful August. In August, I went to see Kinky Boots at a local outside theater, and the Kinky Boots logo is a K made out of red sparkly boots, and I could not get red enough, sparkly enough boots until I went and put nail polish down. So this is actually a nail polish illustration. There's such wonderful memories in here. This was me at the Gabby Cafe with my friends who are urban sketchers. We stopped at the Gabby Cafe to draw for a few hours. Here's another one of my affirmations. Infinite possibilities exist that all will be dramatically better in 90 days. That's a great affirmation. I am in Austin at an event and had breakfast with my business partners. So while we were just chatting and talking, I was drawing our table. Oh, this is the Kinky Boots stage. I remembered I really liked one of the spreads that I did in my first bullet journal with butterflies and there. With butterflies and that gold brown color, so I went for something similar in this one, and I collaged in little bits of sheet music and paper. And I found this quote: "Painting is just another way of keeping a diary." Pablo Picasso. I took a workshop with Stephanie Bauer on drawing in perspective, so there are my notes from that, and then some neurographic drawing. Probably did this sitting on the couch one day. I wanted pancakes one morning, so I got up and drew them. Better than eating them. And here I am at the Springs Preserve with a couple of my sketcher friends. So working on my urban sketching. I really like this one. Haven't looked at it in a while. Here is October. October, we have the collective mastermind. So this is my business partner speaking in front of our mastermind group. And we went to a disco called Cosmos the next night, and then we went to a football game the following day. So that's the football field, the crowd, and my bucket of popcorn. Some fox illustrations. This is another Flight Club meeting. So then November, I wanted to get creative again with the layout. So I had that one page from earlier that I did some doodles with here we go, this page with the doodles in a puzzle format and kind of Zentangles, and I really liked that, so I wanted to do it again. And I made this month, all puzzle pieces. So even the word November, they're all in puzzle pieces. So I drew out the puzzle piece grid. And then later I decided I wanted a dislodged puzzle piece. So I painted this one on another piece of paper so I could just put it slightly ajar onto the page there. And again, every one of these comes with such rich, beautiful memories. And a really good looking pie that I made. Look at that. And here I was working on trying to draw an Adirondack chair in perspective. I'm still working on that, actually. It's been a challenge of mine. This was just a postcard I wanted to save. And then December. December, I thought every day is a gift, so I wanted every day to look like a gift, and I have this red ribbon that just sort of runs through each of the days and ties them all together. So every day in this case is in a box, it's packaged, and I just love it. The first time right here, this is Deadpool, you could probably see, and the ribbon goes from behind the box out in the front through Deadpool's hands and then around. So I'm such a nerd. One of the things that I really liked about Deadpool was that he broke the fourth wall and looked direct at the camera, so you could see, oh, this is a movie. Well, in this case, I had him kind of break the fourth wall of the Deadpool illustration by running the ribbon through him. So those are the kind of geeky little personal jokes and Easter eggs in here that are all throughout this book that just bring me so much joy. These are the days I was doing my Christmas cards. It's the style that I used for those Christmas cards. They wound up going out so late I called them New Year's Eve cards. It's just wonderful. Oh, the greatest movie of all times, The Muppet Christmas Carol. That's Gonzo and Rizzo the Rat from The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, welcome to The Muppet Christmas Carol. I am here to tell the story.
And I am here for the food.
And we went and saw the Oregon Ducks in their final playoff game. They were here at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, and some guy came up and handed us a bunch of stickers and then asked my husband if he wanted to buy a hat, so we did. I wrote down in this month every day what the gifts were, so it's a little bit of not just a reminder of what that actual item was, but the gift that I was feeling. So let's see, I'll take the 10th. On the 10th, I was working on this new palette, this watercolor palette. So the 10th is art supplies, generosity, and sharing. Because that day I was making palettes for a bunch of my friends. Palettes are dot cards, so I could share my colors with them. Here's me. I see calculations. I can see that I'm working on this idea for how I'm going to divide up the next set of boxes. Oh, and here's a day I was just working on some illustrations. That's a gingerbread man hanging off of a fireplace mantle. There he is. Then some additional, this was a live brainstorming session. So we were getting prompts and then adding them into these pages. So I was just using crayon actually to keep it light and easy. So I added some stickers into the final pages, and then that is, got some more stickers here. Some Wonder Woman. These are just various stickers that I've amassed throughout the year. This is my Mory month book. I will probably keep this forever. It's filled with so many amazing memories, and in my next video, I am going to show you how I set up a page to do Mory months, and then I'm going to start going over each month as I do them to just walk you through them and tell you a little bit about the images and some of my favorite stories from each month. So if you like the idea of Mory months and you can see how this might fit into your life better than a traditional bullet journal, please give it a try. Many of my friends have, and they've started months of their own. I'm going to share a couple of photos of that now. And if you do that, please tag me on social. My Instagram account is Donna Fox, and I would love to see it if you started posting some or creating a Mory month of your own. In addition, I often will post just small little pictures of my individual days. So if you're curious to see what my days are and some of my descriptions, then be sure to follow me on Instagram at Donna Fox. And with that, if you've liked this, if you're interested in Mory months, please like and subscribe and ring that bell so you'll get notified when I come out with my next video, which is how to set up your book for Mory months. Thank you.
Full of colors, I paint my dreams. With every brush stroke, I'm living out my scheme.